What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel, Pete's Carport. Today is going to be a lot of fun because we're going to take our 2002 AMG C32, the one that was wrecked and we restored, has almost 270,000 miles, and it really hasn't been on the road for quite some time. We finally got the alignment done, and I want to take it for some heavy pulls today to see what the thing's got. Now, I already know I took it up and down the road the other day. It's got some issues. We will discuss those. I want to see if any other issues arise getting on it. So I also want to see how much power it has, if the supercharger is going to kick in, how fast it's going to go off the line. Now, I do know the fan in the front does not kick on when it reaches temperature, and so I tried to do this video yesterday, but the temperatures of the car were too hot, and I think the supercharger was cutting out. So I want to get the GoPro set up inside the car. I'm going to do a cold start so you guys can kind of hear how the engine sounds, because it is a little rough sounding, but I don't think there's any misfires or anything crazy like that. I just think that we need to go through it and maybe do some spark plugs, some coil packs, all that. And the transmission's a little wonky too, so I want to see if I can save that, because these transmissions are pretty stout even with 270,000 miles. But if we need to swap that out, there's plenty of them out there we can find. So without further ado, let's get this car started up, and then we'll take it out on the road and do a few pulls for you guys. All right, so let's go ahead and step over to the engine. I want to let it warm up a little bit, but don't want to make it too hot. Like I said, this fan is not kicking on, and I'll look at that on a later video. But the engine, as you can hear, is kind of loud, and I'm thinking this bearing inside the supercharger is completely shot. But I don't want to swap that out because we're going to be doing a smaller pulley that I'm already kind of ordering on the way, and I want to do a test of how much power we gain compared to this stock one. So let me go ahead and let this thing warm up, and then we'll jump in the car and take it for some pulls.
So one thing I did forget to mention is there's a check engine light on, and the code is telling me that it's an O2 sensor, and I'm not sure if this will affect the way the car actually pulls.
All right, guys, so let's take her out now. It is a little wet out, so I'm going to be a little cautious. I'm not going to turn the traction control off. And the manual shifter does work, so I'm going to do a couple pulls with it in the standard mode, and then I'll kind of go through the gears. It seems to drive better when you go through the gears than just depending on the drive to shift the gears for you. So let's try our first little pull right here. Pull out, and then we'll get on it. You can see there, it just kind of hesitated. You can hear the supercharger kicking in, and that felt pretty good. The transmission didn't do anything really wonky there like it had done a few other times that I did a pull. I'll slow down a little bit here to 20, and then we'll get on it again. This way we give traffic a little break in front of us. I can definitely hear the supercharger kicking in, which is really good news. And hopefully we're not losing any pressure there, and we've got good compression and everything. We're going to do all of those tests on the upcoming videos. I've got to change the valve cover gaskets, and I want to do a compression test and check for any vacuum leaks and all that type of stuff too. See if I can come down this street here, and we'll try to go through the gears. Slow down and let the guy in front of me go, and bring it down to first. All right, now we're in first, and we'll give it a little gas. And that felt a lot weaker there. Temperature is getting up a little bit higher. It's still under 80 degrees Celsius, so I think I'm still in the good point of this supercharger kicking in. I'm gonna slow down again. See if I can go through the gears on this road a little bit. And it spun a little there. Oh yeah, I can definitely feel it there. And we are doing 60. I'll slow it down. That one felt really, really good. I can really hear the supercharger kicking in. It's almost like it doesn't kick in sometimes when I was testing it out the other day, so I don't know, we just got to run some tests on it and see what's going on. It could just be spark, could be ignition, all that type of stuff, so we've got to test those. Do another pull here. That felt way weaker there. Felt like the supercharger cut out a little bit there. Let me see where my temp's at. Let's do another pull just in drive. Yeah, I don't even think the supercharger is fully kicking in right now. That was way slower than the other pulls. Well, guys, I'm gonna call it quits since my temps are getting up there. It's right around 80 degrees Celsius. But man, it was fun to take a car that probably hasn't seen the street pulls or track pulls in quite some time. And this car is a beast when it's running properly. I think we're gonna be able to get it there. Upcoming goals, I wanna go ahead and do a transmission fluid change, just kind of take a look at the transmission fluid, change our diff fluid out, see if we can save that transmission. I know sometimes you don't want to change fluids out when it's that many miles, but I already feel like we have to go that route because it is slipping up. And any suggestions you guys have to do to the car, I'm going to do a compression test. I'm going to look for vacuum leaks. I'd love to know of the best way to test out the boost on it. If any of you guys have a suggestion to check the boost on the supercharger, definitely comment below. Once again, guys, thanks for watching. Like, subscribe, share. You guys have an awesome day, a blessed week, and I'm going to catch you on the next video.
I'm walking alone, the streets are empty. The only thing I can see is my